Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, depending from where you are watching this tutorial from. This is Taremwa Evan, who is going to go through with you email threat security as we continue using technology in our ways of life. Yes, we find there are very many threats that threaten us in this cyberspace, because we find we must go online, we must make technology part of our lives if we want to reach somewhere. Let it be in innovations, in agriculture, in communication, in banking, and everywhere we need technology, and therefore we must grow with technology. But as we grow with technology, we must be security conscious, because technology is a double-edged sword. When you touch the correct button, you enjoy the benefits of technology. But if you touch the wrong button, then you may hate technology for life. But for today, though there are very many threats in the cyberspace today, let's focus on email threat security, and we shall see maybe why we need to take caution as we use our emails, as we reply our emails, as we access our emails, as we follow our emails, as we send our emails. For whatever we are going to do with emails, we must be conscious. Emails are good and we must use them, but we must be conscious. In fact, as the email usage increases and becomes the most used and efficient and official mode of communication, every inbox represents an entry point into the digital ecosystem. Every inbox, every sent mail, every outbox, even the trash mail, they represent an entry point in the entire ecosystem. Because of now, every system is integrated with emails. We need our emails to authenticate different accounts and different platforms that we have. It can be in communication, we need emails at a point. It may be in banking, we need emails to authenticate if you are the correct user to get statements and others. We go email to in cloud services, backup in AWS, in Amazon and Microsoft. We find we need our emails to authenticate us very well. We need our emails even in a number of systems, MISs, payroll systems, HR systems. And now when it comes to this current generation, all of us, we find we need emails for our social networking sites, on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter, on X, on Hangout, on WhatsApp, on Skype, on everywhere we go. As long as we want to use them, they will ask us login as this, and they ask for our emails. Even we find that the Google Meet, the Zoom, they are largely facilitated by our authentication. That is, in most cases, our emails and sometimes our contacts, phone contacts. But largely, we go our emails in order to authenticate ourselves. And thus, in doing this, as we increase the usage of emails everywhere, we increase the attack surface at which that attracts very many hackers and fraudsters to come in and play their dirty part. And of recent, there is a current innovation of AI, ChatGPT and others, but you also find that we need our email address to allow us log into ChatGPT. And what is surprising enough, is that as we want to authenticate ourselves in these platforms, especially the social networking sites, ChatGPT, we find we are asked to put the real password that we use, and this means that we are giving out our user account, full user account, the username, and we also give out the password. And in doing this, don't you see how we are exposing our emails, and we are putting them at a risk? We are creating vulnerabilities for ourselves that at any point the hackers can get them, they can land into the hands of hackers. So this is how we are increasing the usage of emails, and indeed, and I must say, we are continuing to use emails because it is official, because it is cheap, it keeps the records, the track records, the emails. So that's how they are accessible. We move with our emails on our gadgets, on phones, on tablets, everywhere we move with our emails, and we can access them from anywhere and at any time. We believe we control our emails, but we have seen cases where some emails are stolen and they are controlled by other people that the owners do not know. And therefore, in doing this, we are putting our emails at risk. Even when we think that we are securing our emails, we find they need a recovery email as we try to authenticate them. As we try to put in two-factor authentication, we need the OTP to be sent to our emails. As we want to access these systems, the payment platforms and others, they send OTP to our emails. And this means our emails in near future are going to be integrated in everything that we want to do. Those ones who have registered for passports and others, you need your email. Those ones who have gone for national IDs, the birth certificates, they need email addresses. Among many things they need, the email address is becoming key and essential. And this means our email addresses and our email usage are exposed further and further and every day, and we are continuing to expose them. And therefore, the entire digital ecosystem, every inbox, every outbox, every click on an email is an entry point. And here I tried to give different areas where we find that our emails are relied on, but as we rely on them, we must agree that we are exposing them. And these are the three major email threats that I have desired to bring out, so that I talk about them and we see together how emails are being threatened, how emails are being attacked, and therefore we need to do something. One of them is email phishing. People have increasingly created phishing sites because of recent phishing sites are easy to create. They are free. They can mimic the original sender, but they are hard to track and stop. And therefore, phishing is becoming common, and people send conning messages to different people, and eventually they dig out some information, they receive some information which they should not have received. And in fact, when you see what I have explained here in a diagram, we have a phishing person who is here, that red, who is an attacker, but he sends a phishing email to a victim. This victim is innocent. He has his login details and credentials, but this attacker is sending a broadcast email. I can say, whoever will receive it and reply in this company X, I will be able to get what I want. I will be able to get an entry point. And that's why I told you that every inbox, we must be cautious. It is an entry point. And as this victim, we are moving to number 2, as this victim receives the communication, the email, the victim does not mind to cross-check and to see the email address, to see the spelling of the names and others, to see clearly. But he looks at the email just through the glance, and he says, this is the authenticated email. and this innocent victim now puts in his correct credentials, because this person who created this phishing site was interested in getting the PIN, the password, the account numbers, the TIN numbers, and other information which may be important to him or her. Now, as he replies the email, now the message goes to the phishing site because it was created as a honeypot. This one realizes I need to click there. Some people may say, let me assume they are workers, please click here to see the current payroll. But as you do that, you are sending the information to the phishing site. And as it comes to the phishing site, number 3, the attacker corrects the credentials and gets the username, gets the password, and any other information is interested in. Now, the attacker who was illegal, unauthorized, and had no access at all, now has the access, has the logins. In fact, he is the owner of the account, and he uses those legitimate credentials that you shared that went to the phishing site, and now logs in to the legitimate website, and he starts controlling the website, using the website and getting information that he needs. And this is very common because the attackers no longer need to struggle with breaking the firewalls, with breaking the access control lists and whatnot, because companies have invested in those, but companies have not invested in the human resource and training them these email threats. And that's why the hackers now, they go phishing than going to crack and break walls and whatnot. Now, this is one of them, the threats that are at a rampant in email usage of today. Number 2, we see business email compromise. And in fact, I can say business compromise has taken its trend, because here attackers use their emails to impersonate trusted organization or person, tricking employers into wiring money, into revealing sensitive information, into performing any other risky actions. Because of recent, we see there is increase in usage of AI and machine language that presents emails and information, the body, the greeting, and others in exact writing style, in exact order, in exact manner, in exact chronological order patterns as the authenticated person would do. And because of this, it becomes too tricky to quickly identify, is this the correct person? And by the way, we find in the usage of AI and machine language, these tools, they write smart English, good messages that we authenticated users would do. And we know there are very many AI sites that are free, that are out there. One can access it and do what he wants because it is free. And we can see one of them including the Worm GPT, which is a fraud GPT that enables criminals and attackers to do all funny things they want, as long as they reach where they want and get information they want. That's their mission. And we also have generative AI that enables scammers to craft unique email content quickly, making detection difficult using traditional softwares. And therefore we see, as AI, yes, AI is good for research, for innovation, and every other areas when you use it well. But the same AI has enabled people to do sophisticated social engineering and social engineering threats. And this has become the top and easiest platform that hackers use to get data they are supposed not to get. But we must remember that all hackers, their intention is getting the data, because in a company, its interest is how to protect the data. The biggest asset of a company is not human resource, is not the servers and the switches and the network devices and the computers that you put as carriers to protect, not at all. The biggest asset of any company is its data. Even if the company loses everything but has its data, the company can come back and its image is not tarnished at all. It is abiding the Data Privacy and Protection Acts. It is still safe. But the moment it loses data, it has lost everything. And through these email attacks and poor usage of emails, we can lose our personal data and credentials, but worstly, we can use company data and information. And even we see under business email compromise, the major people that are targeted under BEC are the CEOs, are the executive directors, are the finance managers, are the managers, are the accountants, and that line, because the intention of BEC is to target how to get money. And these are the people, the decision makers. Unfortunately, they are the same people who are less skilled in terms of email security. And therefore, that means we and them, we need to do something that will reduce this threat through our education, through our awareness and others. And also we have the malware attacks, the malicious attacks, different viruses and keyloggers and others. They have been set to attack the user and do different funny things. One can send the ransomware, and you wake up, your data is simply encrypted, and they don't need anything. They cannot access it because it's not with them, but they have encrypted it. But to decrypt it, you will have to pay them, and by paying them, they hold your data hostage. You pay them, and their mission is good. And this is done through emails, through the attachments they put, and through bad links that they send, and people end up following. And therefore, this means that our emails now become the prime targets of hackers, except if we do something and we change. We avoid what we shall see as we shall see them. They are good, but they are the targets. They are good, but they have increased the threat landscape. And we see we are not safe at all unless we do something. And now this is the trend that shows how email usage has been attacked. And in fact, we see in 2023, 2.94 billion US dollars are reported to have been hacked, and from one compromise, business email compromise, which is either through social engineering, invoice payments, and others. Because we shall see under invoice payment, one may disguise that he is the supplier, and he writes to the CEO, finance manager, please, the next invoices, do not pay them to account ABC. Put the money on this new account I have created, and he gives you a new account. And as he gives you a new account, you wire their money. They have got what they wanted. And very many others realize later you were hacked. You lost money, you were frauded, but through your emails, not one coming to call you to take a cup of tea with you, but through your email, someone has done something you wanted. And we see that much money was lost. And we see some attackers were stopped, over 400. And these are the people who had done some preventive measures. They had put some good ways to prevent this from happening. Maybe they have strong firewall, they have strong antivirus which is updated, the Windows updated, the staffs are trained and whatnot, and in that they have controlled it. And we see there is increased attack in BCE, business email compromise, by 108% just in 1 year, of 2022 to 2023. And I tell you, the trend has been increasing. In 2024 it was higher. In 2025 we have not yet compiled the report, but we expect the report will be so bad, because the attackers every day they look for the ways how to attack us. And now when we check on this graph, on the bar graph, we see there are some new trends of emails that are threats that are taking over. One of them, and now the serious one, being the email account takeover. Someone accesses your email, logs into your email with your username and password, and immediately owns it, changes the password, changes the two-factor authentication, changes the recovery email, but keeps two things. your image and your email address, because he wants to use this email for many other criminal acts. And this is taking over. There is a case I'm following up of my friend whose email was taken over. You can no longer recover it because two-factor authentication there is his, except if you go for forensics and others and they see who is holding it, what and what was done. But some people, a large percent of people, fail to recover their emails. Others, I'm not going through them so much. Social engineering and invoice payment, I've talked about them. Credential stealing. Some people will take your credentials. Some people store them poorly. They put them on papers and throw the papers anywhere else. They don't have good password management. Others, they can use shoulder hacking. The one stands behind you and see the credentials you are putting on. Others do not log out. Others access email through open Wi-Fi, and others, as we shall see them. And in the due course, we are losing out our credentials. The malware, the greyware, the spam, and others are also other trends that are taking the space of email, and they are affecting the usage of email in a legitimate way. And I must say this, I had told you that AI has come to stay. We cannot avoid AI, except we must learn how to use AI in a good and productive manner. If we do not do that, we must know that we are going in our own world. And we see that AI email attacks are too easy to launch and too hard to stop, because I have given you that I have told you that these AI, they create emails that are hard to trace. They are easy, like GPT, and free, like generative AI. They are easy, but they create emails that look like the original, and therefore the AI attacks are too hard, not easy to detect, not easy to stop, but very easy to launch. However, we shall see a number of ways how we can avoid all these that we are going through. These are a number of email misuses that users find themselves in. I must stand with this one, which is now common. Using official and same email for authentication on everywhere. They say to log into ChatGPT, we need your email. You put the same email you use in office and for official communication. We have used these official emails on AI. We have used them on Twitter. We have used them on Skype. We have used them on payment systems. We have used them on job applications. We have used them in MISs. We have used them in even handwritten application. We put our emails down, the official emails. We have used them everywhere, even where it is not necessary. You go someone, every person has used his official email for backing up phone database, which is right. But what email are you using? Some people have used their emails to access their WhatsApps and others. So we find most cases we use the same email, the same official email on everything. Some of us, we take long minus changing our passwords. Like Kei and others, we assume we are safe, we know it alone. Yet some people keep doing what we call the brute force. They keep checking and trying different passwords to see how they can get us. Because one can keep matching the encrypted password and see this character may represent this, and in the due course, if we don't change our passwords, we are giving them a chance to continue and hack us. Some have poor protection of the devices that store emails. Yes, we have used our emails on smartphones and tablets and other movable devices, portable devices. But now you find one's email address on a phone, and a phone that has no protection at all. There is no pattern, there is no PIN, there is no biometric authentication, no authentication at all. The phone is open, and one assumes his email address is protected, yet it is on an unprotected device. And some people with phones, with emails on these movable devices, portable devices, you find their emails are not, they don't log out, they don't protect their passwords, they assume they own their mobile devices. So some people do not protect these devices and their emails are don't logged out. Another thing we have, forgetting to log out your email address after using them. That one is open. Some people leave their emails open to the next person who is coming, and therefore we must take caution and we protect them. Others access emails from open Wi-Fi's. I always ask people, how do you think the owner of this Wi-Fi benefit to set up a Wi-Fi for free for all of us to access? And some people are behind there. They are sniffing and they are doing many dirty things to see they get the credentials. There is lack of proper authentication. And yes, Google and others have put two-factor authentication, but some people do not use them. Some people go emails after logging in, they just click save these logins, which means yes, some emails may have strong passwords, but with autosave, your email is as good as unprotected. Sharing email address for other people to help. Others assume they are too busy, they are on leave, they have escaped from business, from office, they have trusted friends, they think the IT guys can help so much, and they say, please, this is their co-managers and co-staff can help them. This is my email address, this is my password, do this work for me. And as they do that, they are sharing the private information. You find they have made the private information public information. And some people, once they access emails that do not belong to them, yes, they have done their work, but they don't mind about the protection of their email. In any case, why should they protect an email the owner has failed to protect? That's why sometimes they leave it. I have done the work, and they tell you, I have sent your work, I've done ABC, but they have not done the crucial part of protecting your email. And we shall come back to this. These are some of the best email practices that we can do. One of them, we must use private window on Mozilla Firefox or new window incognito on Google Chrome, especially to us who access emails from open, from cafes, from shared computers and others. We must know that someone is coming who may trace the history, who may check the cookies, who may do ABC, but we must ensure that we use the private window in Mozilla or new window incognito that do not keep history and all those, so that as we leave, we log out, we leave our page, and someone can use the same browser, the same computer, without checking and seeing our history. Another thing, we must always do not autosave your email address. Yes, as browsers bring it, please do not autosave, because when you autosave, the other person will only need one thing, just click on your email address and you continues and access what he wants. So let's avoid autosaving. And if we have autosaved, there are many ways you can go on any browser under settings and private settings, and you remove all the autosaved passwords so that you can be secure somewhere. We must clear the cache and history, because they keep what we have been doing. They can keep the trail of what we have been following, and by someone checking and following the trail, you never know, he can use the email address we accessed now to launch an attack on someone. So we must delete them. We delete them, we delete the downloads we have accessed, because some people are interested in data, in information, in documents that you have. And so when you keep these downloads to people to see, it means you have given them a way to access what they want to access. Log out your email account after using it, even if it is on a private device, because these devices, they are private, they are portable, they are good, but when it is poorly secured, it means you are exposing your email address. If it is stolen and someone knows the password, the PIN of your device, it means you will go direct to the email address you want. If you lose it, please, you can lose the phone, but don't lose the data on it, because when you back it up, you have been backing up to the email address, and others that you were supposed to access privately have the security. We must use two-factor authentication. Yes, I discourage using two-factor authentication, maybe of phone numbers that are in the same phone. And this means if they are in the same phone a cellular phone and one accesses it, he puts the email address and the password, he guesses it. Once it sends the OTP or the same phone is holding, what is the security there? So it is better if the email is on ITEL, put the authentication on Nokia, so that they are two, the two-factor authentication, so that they are two, but they complement you in terms of security. So do not say you will get one phone, it is where there is two-factor authentication, you have set the email address and the password, you are still exposing it. Use strong passwords, but I can say using strong passwords itself is not enough. If you use strong passwords for so long without editing them, you are as good as nothing without changing them. When you use strong passwords and that by the time of changing, you change them through a link, you are using a wrong way. Do not change passwords using a link. There are proper ways of changing passwords. Do not change passwords using a link. There are proper ways of changing password. I must repeat that. Don't be fished and conned, want to say click the link below to change password. Not at all. In fact, I say once it is said click the link below, please take caution. That's not just a link, it is a honeypot. You can copy the link and paste it and try to see if you can access it. So please have strong passwords, but always change them. We can see. So those are some that we can see that we need to protect, but there are very many others. Give an example. Do not use your password on the same device, because some people have that problem. Do not use your email address on the same device. Yes, some people are too good, but why do you use your email address on everything that needs login? That's very wrong, and we must make sure we take caution against it. We must take caution against it. My encouragement is one. My encouragement is one. You create official email that will be secured jealously, because it has information that is too important. But you can create another email address which you don't want for any official purpose, but you use it to authenticate your Yahoo account, your Twitter account, your Gym, your Skype, your X, your WhatsApp and other sites, so that in case it is weak and hacked, nothing they will find. But if you use your official email for any site you want access, you are creating a bigger space, a bigger threat. Another thing, we need always to be conscious when opening emails from unknown sources. Be paranoid, be skeptical, trust nobody. In fact, better safe than sorry. So before we open an email, let's first read it. Let's first confirm. If it is saying send money here, first call the sender. Because if he says he's your CEO, call your CEO. You will find most of these are wrong. Look for signs of phishing, such as spelling errors, suspicious links, attachments, requests for personal information. Give an example. One is saying click the link below, please be suspicious. Give an example. One is saying, sorry, I have forgotten my password, but my password was same as yours. Mine, how did you know? And some people say, hey, let me help this one, we have the same email password. You share, but as you are sharing your own personal password. Keep computer and other softwares up to date with the last patches and others, and this means that those who are using Windows that are below 2010, you must have discarded them. And those who are using 2010, I tell you that 2010 is getting out of service, so please look for another one. Use antivirus and anti-malware, not only using them but updating them. As IT administrators and others, we must carry out phishing attack simulations, because some users do not know how people are hacked, and because they don't know how people are hacked, they end up doing the messes. Use appropriate technology. It can be firewall, it can be threat protection, access control lists. Yes, you can use anti-malware and many others that will be able to detect and stop the fraudulent email before it causes a harm. Let us secure our URLs, and I encourage people avoid following a link that is insecure. HTTP, please avoid. Please follow links like HTTPS, SSL, because those are secure and they are secured. So please use them to ensure information security and our email security. Install and update antivirus. I had promised you to come back to this best practices to prevent phishing. Conduct regular training to employees. Do they know how people fish? What is the impact of phishing? So you must carry out training. In fact, on this point, I have 3 points that you must emphasize. One of them is training. Second one is training. The third one is training, so that people and users know what they are supposed to do and they are not taken up. Another one, carry phishing simulations. You are testing your staff. You just send an email as if you are phishing all of them, and you see who responds. You call that person for training. Implement appropriate security controls, including updating antivirus, teaching your users. In fact, you can have even physical control, like protecting the mail server with a padlock and ascaris and others. So we must implement them. Use multi-factor authentication. This is not very far from two-factor authentication, but multi means there are many methods to reach the core data that a hacker may need. You have first protection, second protection, third protection. You find the core database is the fifth protection, meaning that for someone to cross these protections, you should have detected something. Another thing is implement business protocols. How many companies, how many people have have a secure information system that defines what users should do and how they should use it. So I encourage you that as we continue using email security emails, we should not use our emails for every platform that we find. Don't use your email that way. We must ensure that we have antivirus installed and updated. We must ensure that our staff are trained how they can avoid information security, information, email threats, and others. So please carry this, and you can share it, by the way, to help very many people learn email security. Thank you very much. Thank you. I'm Evan.